If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hi, welcome to the Dance Resource Podcast. My name is Alexa Lopez. I am your host. Today we are talking about copyright claims and everything that you need to know about copyrights. So before we get started, today is my very first episode coming back from a whole period of me doing interviews with other people. So it just feels weird going back into solo mode. So yeah, and I don't know. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day, wherever you are, whenever you're listening. Okay, so, oh my god. I think copyrights are like one of the biggest, scariest things for dancers because they always give us copyright strikes for everything. And unless you're like a really well-known dancer that can buy copyrights for like YouTube videos and stuff like that, rest assured that you will get copyrighted. So here is just like some information to give you and how you can go around it. I know that places like Instagram and TikTok, they have like, what are they called? Like you can select music so that you can play music through there legally. So that's kind of good, but if you go ahead and record yourself like singing to a song or dancing to a song, sometimes you will get copyrighted on even like on Instagram. What are those called? Stories, the Instagram stories. I got copyrighted once, and my story was taken down, like in a story. Like it's that ridiculous. And yeah, like the I don't know what they're called, like the bots, or the little. There's like engines in social media, like on Facebook and YouTube and like basically everything major that detects music. So if you have music, then you will probably get copyrighted. And that's a big issue for us dancers because most of our work involves music. So there's a problem there. There's a conflict of interest. So let's get started. So let's define copyrights. So according to bitlaw.com, copyright law in the US is governed by federal statute, namely the Copyright Act of 1976. The Copyright Act prevents the unauthorized copying of a work of authorship. However, only the copying of work is prohibited. Anyone may copy the ideas contained within a work. And I think this is where it kind of gets a little blurry for anything. Um, if you copy like a section of a song, then that's not copyright. Like there's a lot of loopholes in the copyright laws, and sometimes when artists try to sue people, it doesn't really go well for them based on how much you copy. And it goes the same way as like there's we are also protected as dancers for copyright, if you didn't know that. I'm gonna go over that in a little bit. But also for like artwork, like like paintings and stuff like that, there's also laws that are copyright protected. So you can't just copy a piece of work. You have to change like 7 different things, I think. That's what my art teacher told me when I was in high school. Like, if you want to take inspiration, then you have to change the artwork in 7 different ways in order for you to not be plagiarizing. So, for music specifically, and I got this information on pdinfo.com, and that stands for public domain. So for music, authors own the exclusive rights to their compositions. This is called a copyright, and the composition is protected for many years, even if the copyright is never registered with the Copyright Office, which is interesting because technically you can have a copyright protection even if you don't register it. That's wild. Okay, moving on. A composition is considered to be quote unquote intellectual property. The copyright may be sold, transferred, or inherited, but the copyright still endures. If music or lyrics are under copyright protection, this is a list what you cannot do. So, you cannot reproduce the music or lyrics. You cannot distribute the music or lyrics either for free, for non-profit, or for profit. You cannot perform the music or lyrics in public. You cannot play a recording of the music or lyrics in public, even if you own the CD. You cannot make a derivative work or arrangement for public use in any form. That means if you play music at a party for public, you may be breaking the law. So, as I mentioned before, we do have copyright protection for ourselves, dancers. So for dancers, a copyright is automatically protected when a work is made, but may not be enforceable if the work is not registered by law. The work must be original work and in a fixed and tangible medium. While there is no set definition of what qualifies as originality, the court in I'm going to butcher this. It's Feast Publications versus Rural Telephone Service set the standard for originality as a low bar requirement 2 factors. So, basically what it means that any work that we do is enforceable by law if the work is yours and it's in a tangible medium. That means you have to take like record that it's yours, basically, so like a video. So for originality, there's 2 factors that contribute to this. So one is that the work is the independent creation of the choreographer. So that has to be yours. It has to be original to you. Like, you have to make it. You cannot copy it or whatever. And 2, that the work exhibits some degree of creativity. So that could be anything creative. And this is based on itsartlaw.org. Okay, and if you want to learn more about the copyright law, the compendium, electronic registrations, application forms, regulations, and related materials are available on the Copyright Office website at www.copyright.gov. And before we go on break, I just want to say like an example. There's a video of Beyonce. I can't remember the name of the song, but she basically got sued by a I keep forgetting everything. But basically there was I think it was a Belgium choreographer, and she was like a dance theater choreographer in Belgium, and basically she was trying to sue Beyonce because this Belgian choreographer did a like a dance film thing, and her dance film looked almost exactly alike as Beyonce's music video. Like the whole concept, and like even there's like shot by shots that um that look the same. So basically Beyonce pretty much copied this choreographer's work, and the choreographer was not having it and she was trying to sue. But I think she actually lost because she didn't register her work as copy, like for copyright law thing, which is weird because technically you don't have to register it, but you can, and I think that will give you more of your rights if you do want to protect your work. I'm not sure if you need to pay or something. Like, you can go to this website that I gave you, the copyrightlaw.gov, and you can actually register, and there's application forms and stuff. There's a lot of resources there if you're interested in registering your works. And remember, you have to have a video of it, so you can't just not have video and then try to register something. Okay, let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about copyright music exemptions and how we can go around copyrights. Okay, we are back. We are talking about copyright music exemptions, and this is where things get juicy. So, before we go on, I just got an email, ironically, from YouTube saying that I got copyright claimed on a very old video of me and some other students from my high school dancing to Michael Jackson. So, yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's whatever. It's not like I'm like famous or anything on YouTube, so it's okay. But it is annoying, and they just keep coming to you, and sometimes they even block your music or like your sound, and that's really annoying. So, yeah, there are music exemptions where you can legally upload music, or you can like play music and stuff like that. So let's dive into that. So fair use is a set of exemptions to US copyright law that allows copyrighted work to be used for educational purposes, news reporting, and other informational contexts without payment or permission. Keywords: payment or permission. It also allows for commentary on a piece of work and additional exemptions for non-commercial work. And it doesn't say it here, but I believe if you also do a cover of a song, you are copyright exempted, which is kind of messed up because they are using the song. And we do use it, but we create stuff on top of it. Like, the song is not the meat of the video or whatever we are trying to post on social media. So, dance, as you know, is not part of copyright exemption rule. So, how does this affect us? In social media, so places like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they all block our content, they silence it, and gives the rights and monetization to our overwork to the music producers. So all our work that we did, if we make any money from it, it wouldn't go to us. It would go to the people that made the song, which is really messed up. In live performances, we cannot legally perform nor play a copyrighted song whether or not we are profiting from it. For example, universities often buy rights of music they perform to in order to have permission. I think that's a big waste of money, honestly, because buying rights to music is really expensive. We're going to talk about a little bit more about that, but I just wanted to touch on this. You basically won't make your money back because, as you may know, dance is already a very underappreciated art form, and not a lot of people support dance, like by going to our performances and stuff like that. So any money that we make, it's not really for profit in the first place. And now that we have to buy music, like we won't make any money from it. So what is the point? I personally have never bought the rights for music, and I just go with it. I don't think anyone is going to like come into my performance and shut it down. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you are um, like a big, well-established, like dance company, like a really well-known dance company all around the world, then that would be different. But if you're like a little old, like independent artist like me, then I don't think you'll get like in big legal troubles if you perform live. Don't tell anyone I told you this. Anyways, um, so yeah, so we won't really be profiting from any of this, or even like, will we break even? Will we lose money? I think will we lose money if we do buy the rights for every song that we use. So, okay, this is some stuff that we can do to work around copyrights. So, we can use public domains and royalty-free music. This is a little tedious because it's not music that you listen to every day, and you actually have to go and find the music. So, this music is any piece of music that is free from any laws whatsoever. So, rule of thumb right now is 2020. So, you can legally use any musical work from before 1924 because that is public domain now in the US. And now next year in 2021, you can use music from 1925 and before, and when it's 2022, you can use music that is from 1926 and before, and so on and so on. So every year that passes on, you can use a song based on how many years passed, basically, if that makes sense. So you can go to pdinfo.com to search for public domain music. This is really old music, like I said. It's from like 1924 and older. Or actually, I go to YouTube Studio. So if you have a YouTube channel, you automatically have access to what is called YouTube Studio. And there is an option for you to search for public domain music and royalty-free music. So you can go there and you can actually, I really love this option because you have a lot of different genres and moods to choose from. So it's an actually really, really good source to use. And there are other websites, I'm not sure what they're called, but if you go in there, there's a website. I have to look it up. But there are websites dedicated to that. The only thing is that you might have to pay a small fee um, for those songs, but once you pay, like you can use them however you want. So you can also, like I said, buy the rights. So buying rights to songs can run anywhere from under $100 to a couple of $1,000s. Yeah, it's expensive. It really all depends on how much of the song you are using and what you're using it for. So there's a website that I really recommend going to. It's called ascap.com. And here you can buy the music from them. So you can go and find and buy music from almost any song or artist. And there are different categories to choose from. So if you are a radio station, you can click radio. And if you're a studio owner, you can click studio owner. If you're video and film, then you choose that, and so on and so on. So I think the fees and everything are based on like what you do. So why are you buying it? And also if you're like a nonprofit or for-profit organization, it also depends on how you're using the song too and how much you're using it. So it all really, really depends. And I think also like how popular the songs are and stuff like that. So in this website, you can also look up any song or artist by clicking repertory. And this is to make sure that they actually have access to the song that you want to buy. And also there's a little small hack that I figured out. When you search up any song here, you can go under publishers. So you find a song, right? So first of all, you search the song, and then you find the song and you click on it, okay? And now there's gonna be a whole bunch of information of who are the authors, who sings it, who's a publisher, who distributed it, blah 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 blah. There's everything in there. So you want to go to where it says publishers, and you have to go where it says view info. So once you click on that, they will give you their contact information, and you can actually contact them directly. Some of them only have cell phone numbers, or not cell phone, like phone numbers, and some of them have the cell phone and email. So you just have to make sure that you can contact them. So I will just email them and be like, hey, like I need to buy some rights, and you again have to be very, very specific what you're using it for, how long you're using it for, and how are you using it, in order for them to give you a super specific, like, what is it called? In order for them to give you accurate fees. Super, super specific. And you have to like really be in communication with them because you don't want to mess up in that process and end up for rights that are for something else. Also, you can hire independent composers. And I actually hired an independent composer for my jingle that you listen in the beginning and in the end of my podcast. And this is my friend Anthony Reyes. I'm sure you've heard of him. He was here for the Michael Jackson episode as well. So you kind of got to know him a little bit. But yeah, hire independent composers. There's like the one website that I didn't list the website. I'll try to find it and put it in the description of this episode. Yeah, they're a really, really great resource for everyone. Just make sure that the composer is in fact independent and does not have any contracts with any record label tied to the song that they're producing for you. Because if they do have ties to a record label, then you might be in trouble because the record label might have the rights for it. And yeah, so there's a lot of legal stuff there. So just make sure that whoever is making you a song has the rights for it, and also have like a written statement. It could be like a letter or like just an email or like a text saying that you do have the rights for it in case in the future they want to screw you over. Not that they will or something, but just to cover your butt in the case of something happens, or like if they do in the future work with like a record label and the record label wants to sue you or something, then you have written consent of that. So, just protect yourself. And lastly, what we can do is fight for inclusion in the copyright exemption rule. Obviously, this is a long stretch, but I don't know. I think it is possible. I couldn't really find anything about like how we can organize ourselves for this. But this is something that I will want to work on in the future and kind of pushing forward, because I just think that our work is valid and we put so much work into our craft. And I think it's a little messed up that we are not part of the exemption rule here in the US. And well, actually, I think it's anywhere in the world. Because it's not like we use the song just to reproduce it and make a quick buck out of it, Like we're actually doing our work on top of the song. So I think it's not fair for us to be dinged all the time because we just happen to use the song. So if you are interested in organizing how we can push for legal copyright exemption, please write to me. You can contact me on Instagram at the Dance Resource Podcast or Facebook, or you can send me an email at the danceresourcepodcast@gmail.com. And we can stay in touch and see what we can do, because I think this could be big. Like if we actually like organize something and we push it forward in court and we actually get exemption, that would be huge for us. But yeah, let me know what you think. You know where to find me. You can also send me a voice memo. If you go to my Anchor account, it's anchor.fm/Dance Versus Podcast. You can click on the message button and you can record yourself, and I can play it here in my podcast. How cool is that? Alright, everyone. I think that is it for today. Please, please, please write to me what you think. If you have any more resources on copyrights and copyright exemptions, please let us know so we can share it to every single one of you. And shout out to Anthony Reyes. He is my jingle producer. And please follow him as well at Big Wolf 2509. Right, everyone? Next week, we're going to talk about hip hop and the culture and globalization.